The desperate hour the star system of Colora Prime had known peace for over 2 centuries. The gentle blue-skinned Colorians had built their civilization around harmony and exploration, sending colony ships to distant worlds and sharing their advanced agricultural technology with anyone who asked. Their ships were designed for long journeys and peaceful missions, equipped with powerful shields and life support systems that could sustain entire populations for decades in space. Captain Zara Kellis stood on the bridge of the colony ship Peaceful Dawn, watching the scanner displays with growing dread. Her elongated fingers traced patterns in the air as she manipulated the holographic controls, a nervous habit she had developed during her years commanding deep space missions. The ship carried 15,000 colonists bound for the outer rim, families seeking new homes among the stars. "Captain, we are detecting massive energy signatures approaching from the Drakmor border," reported her tactical officer, Lieutenant Nex. His voice carried the musical quality common to all Colorians, but today it was strained with worry. 27. Heavy cruisers and what appears to be a Dreadnought-class vessel. Zara's heart sank. The Drakmor Empire had been expanding aggressively for the past 50 years, conquering system after system with brutal efficiency. Their warriors stood nearly 9 feet tall, with thick armored hide and razor-sharp claws. Unlike the peaceful Colorians, the Drakmor lived for conquest and viewed mercy as weakness. "Signal the other colony ships," Zara ordered. "Form defensive. Pattern Alpha 7. Activate all shields and prepare for possible combat." The 6 Colorian vessels moved into formation, their sleek silver hulls gleaming in the light of the system's twin suns. They were not warships. The Colorians had no need for such things in their peaceful society. Their shields were designed to protect against cosmic radiation and space debris, not military-grade weapons. The Drakmor fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of dark insects. Their ships were angular and menacing, painted in deep red and black. Weapon ports lined their hulls like the eyes of predators, already beginning to glow with charging energy. "Colorian vessels," came the harsh voice of General Thrax over the communication channel. "You have entered territory claimed by the Drakmor Empire. Surrender immediately and prepare to be boarded. Your ships and cargo now belong to us." Zara straightened her shoulders and activated the response channel. "General Thrax, this is Captain Zara Kellis of the Colorian Colonial Authority. We are peaceful civilians traveling through neutral space. We have no quarrel with your empire." The reply came as a burst of plasma fire. The lead Drakmor cruiser had fired without warning, its crimson energy beam striking the shields of the nearest colony ship. The barrier flared brilliant blue before flickering and failing. The ship's hull was breached in 3 places, atmosphere venting into space. "All ships, evasive maneuvers," Zara shouted. "Broadcast emergency signals on all frequencies. Someone has to know what's happening here." The battle was hopeless from the start. The Drakmor ships moved with predatory grace, their weapon systems far superior to anything the Colorians possessed. One by one, the colony ships took devastating hits. The Rising Hope lost its engines and began spinning helplessly. The New Horizon suffered a direct hit to its central section, killing hundreds of colonists in an instant. "Captain, our shields are down to 30%, reported the engineering officer. "We cannot withstand another direct hit." Zara closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of 15,000 lives on her shoulders. The escape pods could save perhaps half her people, but the other ships were in even worse condition. Thousands would die, and the survivors would face slavery or death at Drakmor hands. "Prepare for," she began, but her words were cut off by a new voice on the communication channel. "Attention, Drakmor vessels. This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Ship Resolute. You are firing upon civilian targets. Cease your attack immediately. Every eye on the bridge turned to the scanner displays. A new contact had appeared, seemingly from nowhere. The ship was unlike anything in their databases, smaller than the Drakmor Dreadnought, but somehow more menacing. Its hull was a dark gray color, and its design spoke of efficiency rather than intimidation. General Thrax's voice crackled over the comm. Unknown vessel, you are interfering in Drakmor military operations. Identify yourself and withdraw, or be destroyed. Negative, General. I can see you attacking defenseless civilians. That stops now. Zara found herself holding her breath. The human ship, and she now realized these must be the legendary humans she had heard whispers about, was vastly outnumbered. The Drakmor had 27 ships to their one. Your species is unknown to us, Thrax growled. But your arrogance will be your death. All ships, destroy the unknown vessel. What happened next defied everything Zara thought she knew about space combat. The human ship moved with impossible precision, seeming to anticipate the Drakmor attacks. Before they were fired, energy beams that should have vaporized the smaller vessel passed harmlessly through empty space as the Resolute danced between them. Asterisk, the human ship's weapons were different too. Instead of the massive energy cannons favored by most spacefaring species, it fired what appeared to be solid projectiles. But these projectiles moved at incredible speeds and seemed to change course in flight, striking the Drakmor ships with surgical precision. Impossible, whispered Lieutenant Nex. How are they moving like that? The first Drakmor cruiser to be hit found its weapon systems disabled, but its crew unharmed. The second lost its engines, but suffered no casualties. The human ship was systematically dismantling the Drakmor fleet without killing anyone. All Colorian vessels, this is Captain Rodriguez. Form up behind us and prepare to follow our lead. We're going to get you out of here. Captain Rodriguez, Zara transmitted. We are not warriors. We do not know how to fight. You don't need to fight, came the reply. You just need to survive. We'll handle the rest. The human ship accelerated toward the Drakmor Dreadnought, the largest and most dangerous vessel in the enemy fleet. The massive ship's weapons tracked the approaching target, dozens of energy cannons preparing to fire simultaneously. It seemed like suicide. Instead, the Resolute performed a maneuver that made Zara's mind reel. The ship seemed to fold in on itself, appearing to occupy multiple positions at once. The Drakmor weapons fired at several different targets, but the human ship was somehow none of them and all of them simultaneously. What kind of technology is that? Gasped her science officer. The human ship's counterattack was swift and decisive. A single projectile struck the Dreadnought's command section, and suddenly the massive ship was drifting powerless. Its weapons went silent, its engines died, but its life support remained functional. General Thrax, Captain Rodriguez's voice, was calm and professional. Your flagship is disabled, and I can take out the rest of your fleet just as easily. You have two choices. Withdraw your forces and leave these people alone, or I'll disable every ship you have and leave you stranded here. The silence stretched for long seconds. Finally, Thrax's voice came over the comm, filled with rage and humiliation. This is not over, human. The Drakmor Empire will remember this insult. I'm sure you will, Rodriguez replied. But you'll remember it from a safe distance. The Drakmor fleet began its retreat, their damaged ships limping away from the battle zone. Within minutes, they had jumped to hyperspace, leaving the Colorian colony ships alone with their mysterious savior. Captain Callis, Rodriguez called. Out. Are your people injured? Do you need medical assistance? Zara looked around her bridge, seeing the same amazement on every face. We have wounded, but our medical technology is quite advanced. Captain Rodriguez, I don't know how to thank. You saved 15,000 lives today. Just doing what's right, came the reply. Mind if we stick around for a while? I'd like to make sure those Drakmor ships don't come back. Of course. But Captain, I have to ask, what are humans? We have never encountered your species before. There was a pause before Rodriguez answered. We're new to this part of the galaxy. Earth, our homeworld, is pretty far from here. We've been exploring, making contact with other species, trying to understand our place in the universe. And you risk your lives to save strangers? That's what humans do, Rodriguez said simply. We look out for each other. All of us. As the human ship took position alongside the Calorian fleet, Zara found herself wondering what other surprises these mysterious humans might have in store. She had the feeling that the galaxy was about to change in ways no one could imagine. The peaceful dawn continued its journey, but now with an escort that had already proven itself capable of miracles. Behind them, the wreckage of disabled Drakmor ships served as a reminder that sometimes the smallest force could triumph over the largest, if it knew how to use its advantages wisely. The new alliance. 3 days had passed since the battle, and Captain Elena Rodriguez found herself in the cargo bay of the Peaceful Dawn, surrounded by curious Calorian colonists. The aliens were fascinated by humanity, asking endless questions about Earth and human culture. Children with large, luminous eyes peered at her from behind their parents, whispering in their musical language. Captain Rodriguez, said Dr. Kinth, the colony's chief medical officer, we have studied your ship's scans, and we must admit confusion. Your vessel appears to be both there and not there simultaneously. How is this possible? Elena smiled, running her hand through her short black hair. She was a compact woman in her early 40s, with the kind of calm confidence that came from years of command experience. It's called quantum displacement technology. We learn to manipulate probability fields to exist in multiple possible positions at once. Makes us hard to hit. But such technology should be theoretically impossible, protested Dr. Kinth. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical. Humans have a saying, Elena replied. Impossible is just another word for something nobody's figured out yet. We've been working on problems like this for centuries. Captain Zara approached, her blue skin showing the faint silver patterns that indicated deep thought among her people. Captain Rodriguez, we have received disturbing intelligence from our government. The Drakmor Empire is mobilizing a massive fleet. They are calling it the Great Cleansing, a campaign to eliminate all non-Drakmor species in this sector. Elena's expression hardened. How many ships are we talking about? Our intelligence suggests over 300 vessels, including 5 dreadnoughts and a new class of ship they call planet killers. They can sterilize entire worlds from orbit. That's a problem, Elena admitted. The Resolute is good, but not that good. We need to contact Earth Command and request reinforcements. How long would that take? Zara asked. 6 weeks minimum, assuming they approve the request immediately. The Drakmor will be here in 2 weeks. The silence that followed was heavy with implications. Elena could see the fear in the Calorian faces around her, the way their musical voices had become subdued. These were a peaceful people who had never known war, and now they faced extinction. There might be another way, Elena said slowly, but it would require your people to trust us completely. Explain, Zara requested. Human military doctrine is built on adaptation and cooperation. We don't just fight with weapons. We fight with ideas. Your people have technology. We don't. And we have combat experience you lack. If we combine our strengths, double quotes, Dr. Kinth leaned forward. What do you propose? A joint defense force. We train your people in basic combat tactics, and you share your shield technology and medical knowledge with us. Together, we might be able to hold out until reinforcements arrive. But we are not warriors, Zara protested. We do not even have Weapons. You don't need to be warriors, Elena replied. You just need to be smart. Humans learned long ago that brains beat brawn every time. Your people are natural problem solvers. I can see it in your ship designs, your medical technology, your social structures. We just need to channel that problem-solving ability in a new direction. Over the following days, the most unusual military academy in galactic history took shape aboard the colony ships. Elena and her crew worked tirelessly to teach the Colorians the basics of space combat, while the aliens shared their technological secrets with their human allies. Lieutenant Commander James Chun, the Resolute's tactical officer, found himself explaining human military history to a group of fascinated Colorian engineers. The key is not to fight the battle your enemy wants to fight, he said, manipulating a holographic display. Look at this, the Battle of Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans held off thousands of Persians. They didn't win because they were stronger. They won because they chose the battlefield. But how does this apply to space combat? Asked Engineer Till, her silver patterns flickering with concentration. Same principle. We choose when and where to fight. We use the environment to our advantage. Your people are excellent at long-range scanning and navigation. We can use that to predict enemy movements and position ourselves for maximum advantage. Meanwhile, Dr. Sarah Kim, the Resolute's chief medical officer, was working with Dr. Kinth to understand Colorian healing technology. This is incredible, she said, examining a handheld medical scanner. You can repair cellular damage at the molecular level. On Earth, this would be considered miraculous. But it requires enormous power, Dr. Kinth explained. We have never considered weaponizing such technology. What if we could? Dr. Kim asked. Not to hurt people, but to disable enemy ships? If we could disrupt their electrical systems, the same way you repair organic tissue. The breakthrough came when Elena's engineer, Chief Warrant Officer Martinez, figured out how to integrate Colorian shielding technology with human weapon systems. Captain, this is amazing, he reported excitedly. Their shields don't just absorb energy, they can store it and redirect it. If we modify our quantum displacement drives to work with their shield generators, we could create a defensive network that gets stronger the more it's attacked. Show me, Elena ordered. The demonstration was impressive. Using modified shield generators positioned around the colony fleet, they created overlapping energy fields that not only protected the ships, but also amplified their offensive capabilities. When enemy fire struck the shields, the energy was captured and redirected through the network, emerging as focused beams that could disable attacking vessels without destroying them. This is remarkable, Captain Zara said, watching the test results. We have turned our defensive technology into a weapon that does not kill. That's very human thinking, Elena replied with a smile. We've always believed that the best victory is one where everybody lives to learn from their mistakes. As the days passed, the unlikely alliance grew stronger. Colorian children learned to operate human sensor arrays, while human technicians worked alongside alien engineers to improve both species' technology. The colony ships began to look less like civilian vessels and more like a unified defense force. The transformation was not just technological. Elena watched as the Colorians began to adopt human tactical thinking, approaching problems from multiple angles and always looking for unexpected solutions. In return, the humans learned to appreciate the Colorian emphasis on preservation and healing, incorporating these principles into their military doctrine. Captain, called out Lieutenant Commander Chun from the tactical station, we're receiving multiple hyperspace signatures. Large fleet approaching from the Drakmor border. Elena's blood ran cold. How many? 247 vessels. 5 dreadnoughts and something bigger, probably one of those planet killers. The moment of truth had arrived. Elena opened a channel to all ships in the fleet. All hands, this is Captain Rodriguez. The Drakmor fleet has arrived. Remember what we've practiced. We are not trying to destroy them. We are trying to teach them that peace is stronger than war. Captain Zara's voice came over the come from the peaceful dawn. Captain Rodriguez, whatever happens, we want you to know that you have changed us. We will never forget what you have taught us about courage and cooperation. The lesson's not over yet, Elena replied. All ships, assume. Formation Beta 7. Let's show them what humans and Colorians can do together. The Drakmor fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, their dark ships blotting out the stars. The planet Killer was a massive vessel, twice the size of their largest Dreadnought, with weapon systems that could crack a planet's crust. Colorian. Vessels, came General Thrax's voice, filled with rage. You have allied yourselves with the humans who humiliated our forces. For this betrayal, you will all die. There will be no mercy. General Thrax, Elena replied calmly, you still don't understand. We're not here to fight you. We're here to teach you. Teach us what, human? That there's a better way. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The combined human-Colorian fleet moved as one entity, their modified shields creating a defensive network that seemed to defy physics. Drakmor. Weapons fire was absorbed and redirected, creating a beautiful and terrible light show as energy beams danced between the ships. The planet Killer fired its main weapon, a beam of energy that could destroy a world. But instead of obliterating the human Colorian fleet, the beam was captured by their shield network, its power distributed and stored across dozens of vessels. The weapon that was meant to end the battle had instead made their defense even stronger. Impossible. Thrax screamed. No shield can absorb that much energy. You're right, Elena replied. No single shield can. But we're not using single shields. We're using the collective strength of two species working together. The counterattack was swift and precise. The stored energy from the planet Killers. Weapon was focused and redirected, not at the Drakmor ships' hulls, but at their weapon systems. One by one, the enemy vessels found themselves disarmed but undamaged, their crews unharmed, but their ability to fight stripped away. The planet Killer itself was the last to fall. Its massive weapon systems were overloaded by their own reflected energy, causing a cascade failure that left the ship powerless but intact. The crew of thousands was safe, but their ship was nothing more than a floating hulk. General Thrax, Elena said into the sudden silence, your fleet is disabled. Your crews are alive. You have two choices. Return to your empire and tell them what happened here, or stay and learn why cooperation is stronger than conquest. The silence stretched for long minutes. Finally, Thrax's voice came over the come, no longer filled with rage, but with something like wonder. How? How did you defeat our entire fleet without killing anyone? We didn't defeat you, Elena replied. We taught you. There's a difference. I do not understand. You will. Your people can stay here as long as they need to. We'll provide medical care for any wounded, and food and supplies for everyone. When you're ready to leave, you can go. But remember what you've seen here. Remember that two species who barely knew each other found a way to work together and accomplish something neither could do alone. As the Drakmor fleet began the long process of recovery, Elena stood on the bridge of the Resolute, watching the strange scene unfold. Colorian medical ships were already moving to assist the disabled Drakmor vessels, offering aid to former enemies without hesitation. Captain, called out Lieutenant Commander Chun, we are receiving a transmission from Earth Command. A reinforcement. Fleet is 3 days out. Elena smiled. Better late than never. But I don't think we'll need them for fighting anymore. Captain Zara's voice came over the comm. Captain Rodriguez, we have learned something important today. We thought we were a peaceful species, but we were wrong. We were simply an untested species. Today, we discovered that true peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the strength to resolve conflict without violence. That's the most human thing I've ever heard a non-human say, Elena replied. I think this is the beginning of something special. Outside the viewports, the combined fleet of humans, Colorians, and now peaceful Drakmor ships continued their work. The galaxy had witnessed the birth of something unprecedented, an alliance built not on fear or conquest, but on the simple idea that different species could accomplish more together than they ever could apart. The war was over, but the real work was just beginning. The universe was about to discover what happened when humanity's greatest strength, the ability to bring out the best in others, was combined with the unique gifts of other species. The future had never looked brighter. Asterisk.